who is that Rachael Wooding? I am obsessed.
So it was between me and Louise Simmons for Glinda. I was like, give it to her because she can actually sing that top note. I am not 20 anymore. Go, no, she can't play the mum. I'm like, darling, I've got a 6-year-old and I'm knackered. Let me tell you right now something about Fat Friends. I wouldn't be paying the thin sister this time, would I, if we did it again? The last job I did prior to doing this with Ollie, we were playing teenagers. I was like, in what world is this acceptable?
Hello, my dear.
Right, love.
You're looking so glam.
Are you kidding me?
No, look at you.
Well, me and George did a like Camden Live with our band last night.
Very
So I
nice.
did my hair last night. I was like, oh, well, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. She said, I'm going to pop a lip on, dear, and she her hair's done.
Loving it. You're looking amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about it. So this is your little band, the Lonesome Frets.
Yes. So obviously, me and George got together. He's been writing songs for an age, for age. And I've obviously always sang in bands, been in cover bands and things like that. And often like done other people's work, but never written myself ever. I don't know. It's one of the things I was like, oh, I can't do that. One of those things. But then meeting him and seeing how he goes about it. And and we've been recording songs and we've got an EP together. I mean, it's a different world.
Is this called Seven?
Yeah, Seven's the new one, the single release, yeah.
Nice.
But obviously, don't get me wrong, people have been all cocky and doing all sorts in lockdown. Believe me, I've not been that productive, but this is our thing we have done.
But then this was started before lockdown. It's not a new thing, is it?
No. It's one of them things. We've always been working towards it. We've been doing bits of recording and stuff like that. So we have been getting it together. But in a weird way, it's probably gone further because what it's like. We're doing shows or doing this or whatever. So it's one of them things that it literally, we've been more productive because we've had no else to do.
Where did the name come from?
Oh, God. Well, at first, very, very briefly, we were called the Maguires because obviously George Maguire. We're not married, by the way, yet. So, and then we were looking for, and George had this idea of what it, like, and he were explaining something. It was like, it's like a feeling of this and this and this. And I think I said, what's it like being lonesome or something like that? And he was like, yeah. And then I Googled the feeling. I wrote into Google this like poetic thing that he came out with. He went, it's just this, and don't ask me what it was. And I went, Google went, Lonesome Fret. And it's a feeling, it's an actual thing, Google it.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, that means kind of, and he went, Lonesome Frets, fretboard, guitar, bosh.
Yeah. It's a
I
cool
think if
name.
you've never heard of it, it's weird as well. People go, Lonesome Frets. But it's like with any band, if you think of any band name, unless it's a person's name, it's really random, but then it just becomes like normal. You think, oh, yeah, that's that. So.
I think it's a great name.
Oh, good.
So how did you two meet?
We met, I'd known George a long time. We originally worked together on, oh my God, you're going to ask me now, Bright Lights, Big City. Right. So I knew him anyway. So I knew of him. Yeah. And weirdly, we've done similar, not all the same, but quite a few similar jobs, but at different times. Yeah. And then we did Two-Hander, a play together at Christmas.
Yes, at the bridge.
Yes, at the Bridge House. Yeah. Another night before Christmas. And we met on that. And then, we didn't even know it were anything like that. We just got on together. We felt like we worked really well together. And then after the fact, we were like, oh, I'm thinking about you. And then that was it.
He is gorgeous. He's such a lovely guy, isn't he?
Oh my God, yeah. And he's so calm, and I'm not. He's so calm. And do you know what I mean? It's really creative and calm. It's cool and everything. And I'm like, rah! So we kind of just, and obviously he's got crazy in him as well. And yeah, we just like each other. It's like, I think lockdown has been a test for most couples, hasn't it? And obviously we've had, homeschooling and all that. But it's been nice. We genuinely want to work together. We want to be creative. We want to do stuff. We've actually written, I wrote a play. I mean, I've never written anything. Look at me coming out with all these things because I feel like I've done note. Everyone's doing everything online. I've done note. But actually, even though I've not been out there like this doing anything, we have been sort of ticking over at home. And I just had this idea. It just came in a random dream. And then I just kept thinking about it on the school run. This is first lockdown before when they were still at school. Do you know what I mean? And I kept thinking about it, and I said to George, I'm going to voice note this because it's sometimes you want to remember a dream. That's where it was. Yeah. Because I thought it's really good. This not to write it, just to read the dream. I've never listened back to one of them voice notes because it just literally stuck in my head, and then I wrote it all down, not knowing what it was going to be, and then obviously being in musicals and we love musicals, and George writing, we just decided to make it a musical. So.
Oh my God, taking over the world.
Well, taking over our living room. Got to start small.
You ventured out, because weren't you at the Rush Fest?
Yeah, so we did that. Look at you. You're really good. You're saying all the
positive. Not only because my friend Jack did it, Jack Hawitt.
Oh, he was, and you know what? We've got mutual friends and I've never met him.
Well, you both did.
So we knew
at different times.
Yeah, but we were never at the same time, and he's really good friends with my friend Gemma, who lives near me. And so and we came across him, and we wanted to people who emerging artists and stuff like that. So me and George put on Rush Fest. We've had this idea, and we were who are we in a pandemic? But of course we've got such a lovely village where we live, and they wanted something positive. They all went, and we've got all COVID safety with the council and everything. They were like, yeah, go ahead with it. So we had I bought that, what is it, eco-friendly chalk spray paint, and wait, this is how hands-on we were. We'd had our decking done. I had a long piece of decking, and I cut it to 2 meters, and I literally put it on grass and went and did 50, 60, 70 boxes of so to be socially distanced for groups to be together. And we put on Rush Fest last year, and we're doing it again this year. Oh.
It looked amazing. I didn't get down for it, but it looked incredible.
Oh, it was so nice. And obviously we love festivals as well, and they weren't obviously around, and there was nowhere else to go. I mean, this year it's going to be more difficult because obviously festivals are about now, so and people are going. But hopefully, we'll get some people. We'll get all our village as well. And I think the idea was we started small to check that it worked, and and it really child friendly as well, because obviously we've got Emmy. And honestly, that's why people were the people that came, they were like, oh my God, this is brilliant. Because you think of, I know you can go to a festival like Latitude and Glastonbury with your kids, but let me tell you, I won't be going with my child. Even though she's amazing, I want to enjoy him instead. So, but Rush Fest is a lot of the, we had an area, I created, because obviously I'm a mum as well, created this kids corner, and we had a massive inflatable slide. They literally were feral for a day. And the parents were like, they're just there. They're not out of reach. I can watch them. Everything's there. Just smash a burger in the face every now and again and give them some sweets, and we're done.
I'd have been happy with that, you know what I mean? Get to hear you guys, have a burger, love it.
Yeah. So, we're doing it again this year, 21st of August. More acts. We had 5 acts last year. We've got 7 acts this year. And it's a right eclectic mix. We had, obviously we, Lonesome Frets, played an Igos last year afterwards. I said, I really enjoyed myself, but I want to open next year so I can enjoy myself. And everyone's like, don't be ridiculous, you have to be on at the end. So, we've got 7 acts, and it's from bands to blues artists to obviously Jack, all his originals. And we had Kim, a friend, a classical singer, which went down. She went down. They want her back, but I'm like, we're opening in Pretty Woman. I'm pretty sure we won't get the same day off, so you might have to have somebody else.
And you did do a little gig at the Umbrella Rooms as well, I noticed.
Yes, we did. We did Umbrella Balloons live.
Hi, I'm George.
And I'm Rachel.
And we can't wait for you to watch our concert. Please stream it on youartlive.co.uk. See you there.
Out of all the reindeer, you know you're the best of mine. Run, Rudolph, the Randall's not too far behind. Run, Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town. Randolph, you can hurry, you can try to wake the T-way down. And away you head, Rudolph, whizzing like a merry-go-round.
Which their setup is amazing. I mean, they're flying. They're doing so well. And it was so, you know,
So well
in one of
produced.
their...
Well, they looked stunning.
Oh my God, it was so good. And they set it up really nice. And obviously you've got, you know, them on the cameras and the sound and everything. And it was such a lovely thing to do, because that was really probably the first thing that we'd really done. We did a few because we've got this England Rock fireplace. So like we were trying to be like productive. But what we've learned is we're quite instinctive, like all, you know, emotion and instinct, do you know what I mean? And we've had to set ourselves like a bit more of a timetable to like try and be, which is weird because you think, how are you going to be creative on tap? But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And a good friend of ours said, try and set it up like that, you know, give yourself time to write for this or whatever. So we started to do a few, but the thing is, when it's summer and you set up, you're like, yeah, let's sing a couple of songs in the garden. Then the wine gets out, dear. And she's...
Well, I saw it because he did a medley for Sunny Afternoon last year.
Yes,
and there were
yeah.
snippets of your garden in that with his top on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at you.
I can't sail my yacht. He's taken everything I've got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon.
Yeah, we went full out. We went, because obviously we were off, Emmy were off, and we were just like, well, we can't leave anywhere. We've got a full blow-up hot tub, you know, one of them, you know, like, I think they went through it, honestly, this day we're in B&Q. Never in a million years, because we're never like proactive and do it first. We're always like, oh, wouldn't it be nice? And they're all sold out everywhere. And I went into B&Q to get some paint to paint another room, because that's another thing we did, paint in every room. And I was like, I were eyeing this hot tub. I was like, there can't be one here. There can't actually be an actual hot tub, cheap hot tub left in the world ever. And I stood by it waiting to find someone. And this woman came, you're all right. She came over. I was like, is this an actual hot tub? Am I being stupid? She was like, yeah. She says, if you're thinking about it, get it, because you won't get one. I was like, right then. She went, I'll go and get you one of them, trolley. And she whipped it on the trolley. And I was like, oh, to George. He went, you're right. I went, I've bought a hot tub. He was like, yeah. And then we spent literally, when we could obviously start having people over, like everyone was like, no, we'll come to you. We'll come to you, because all the kids were just in it.
So lockdown's not been too bad by the sounds of it, because I remember right at the beginning, I think it was just a couple of weeks before, and you were obviously doing Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
You were saying that you weren't even sure if you were going to have time off after Pretty Woman between another project you had coming up to even see your daughter. And now you have an entire year with her.
I know. So do you know what I have to say? Like, it's so weird, isn't it? You know, it's like with theatre, our lives, in a weird way. I mean, it's gone on too long and we're all had enough now. But I think we, as a people, adjusted really well to it, because we're used to it. We're used to be going, oh my God, I've got nothing on. What am I going to do now? You know? So I'd gone from like, you know, rehearsals, you know, and it's like new show in every day, rehearsing, tech, into, you know, previews. And we were in every day changing things. And then so we'd literally been open a week when it would have probably started to relax. And then we were home. And at first you were like, oh, it could be like a couple of months. I was like, boom. I was secretly like looking forward to spending some time with Emmy and the family. And so I really enjoyed it at the beginning, I have to say. And then I was like, could I enjoy myself surviving on air? Is that a thing? But as well, that that year of work that 2020 was supposed to be for me was like that year that you all dream of. I was like January into Pretty Woman, then I was leaving in October. I was doing Standing at the Sky's Edge, which is just the most. It's the best thing I've ever done, and I can't wait to do it again. And I believe we'll do it again came out of Sheffield. Chris Bush wrote it.
Yeah.
Brilliant book, like, and the music's all Richard Hawley. It's literally it's groundbreaking theatre, and it's like you like when you're doing it, you're just so into it. Then looking back, I've gone, I can't believe I was part of that, and I'm so proud that I was. So I'm supposed to go into that and then open at the National, which has been my dream. And so I should be there now. I should be at the National now.
Yeah.
But I just having a chat with you. No, so it was weird. Like I was like, it's awful, isn't it? It's almost too good to be true because it was so good, and I had like a year and a half's work. But I'm just hoping that it might not be straight away, but all these projects will come back, and because everyone's gagging for it. Yeah,
absolutely. So, do you think you will be able to go back to Pretty Woman, or do you think they'll conflict? If they
No, I'm going back.
You are?
Yes. Yeah. When does this go out?
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm great. And actually, what's nice is it's like that thing with buses. Two came at once, and I've got my head around what we're going to happen in 2020. But now I'm open to do Pretty Woman and actually enjoy it and be with the cast because they're amazing. They like, what it's like with cast. They're not saying that a cast gels or it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And they're such a great bunch, and we genuinely like being together. So I'm looking forward to just doing that and just not having to worry about. We'll have the band stuff as well, and that. So I'm looking forward to just getting back in a show and just sort of getting back into like the idea of like getting on a train and going into work every day. I mean, it's like you're not working that many hours, darling. But in my head, I'm like, oh God, it can be hard work.
But yeah, so Pretty Woman, because obviously it was in Broadway with Sam Barks, and then it was coming over, and you didn't even consider it at the beginning, did you? You were kind of like still at that point where you'd had so much time off with Emmy, and then weren't you approached by Jerry himself? He was like,
yes. So I knew other people, and I knew a really good friend of mine as well who were up for it, and I was like, oh, she'd be brilliant, and so that's why I was aware of it. I was absolutely aware of the show, and I'd not. It's weird, isn't it? Sometimes you've got to make that decision to go, I'm going to go back into West End. I'm going to do that. So I had been doing theatre, but more like short contracts, like I'd been up to Sheffield and I'd worked that out and stuff like that, what we were going to do. And I'd not really said to Peter, my agent, right, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Throw my hat back in the ring. So I'd not had that conversation with him yet, which I probably obviously was ready to do. But it's like all that, like you're holding on to your child and all of this malarkey. So, so they'd done like that first initial set of auditions, I believe, and then they were like, "No, let's go out again." And Jerry, obviously, because I'd done Hairspray with him back in, oh my God, when was that? 2007, I think.
2008, yeah.
2008, yeah. And I think he just like as a remark to the casting director, "Where's Rachael Wooding? Is she not coming in?" And so they were like, well, and I was like, oh yeah, go on then. It were almost like a quick, these are the things with me. If I think about things too long, I'll do nothing because I'll talk myself out of it. If you get on the right day, I'll go, yeah, okay, let's do it. And and it's weird, isn't it, when it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. Not right.
But I love your character. I think of the film, I mean, obviously we all like the leads, but like your character's hilarious. And especially
oh my God,
kind of taking her on. She feels a bit like Julie Walters, the way you did it.
Oh my God. Well, do you understand that she's my actual hero? Yeah. Like I love her, I'm obsessed with her. And the thing is, I think because I love what she does and I love the physicality of her, and because obviously this over Christmas and everything, there were loads of like Victoria Ward and like Julie Walters because we're celebrating Victoria Ward, and I was watching it all and I was just like remembering how amazing they are. Yeah. So it is they are like women that I adore anyway. But I don't think I ever go, oh, I'm going to do it like Julie Walters. But I just think maybe I'm just a bit like that. But Kit's like, she's got it. She's brilliant. I love playing her. And also, I don't want the pressure of having to look tiny in any outfits anymore. And let's just face it, that ship has sailed. I am not 20 anymore. So I'm all right where I am. This
as well, because I was talking to Cassidy Janson the other day and her and Ollie Tompsett were both saying that how great it is to be in a show and not have to kiss. Like, how much of
none of that good. Well, the last job I did prior to doing this in town with Ollie, and obviously we were playing teenagers. It's like, in what world is this acceptable? We will rock you. But I think because we were both older and we're both goons, we got away with it, and it was great. So he's a good friend of mine, and I worked with CJ years ago on Footloose. Yeah, all that time ago. But yeah, it is. It's weird as well, because I feel like I am a lot older than what people think I am. I'm not old, but I'm happy with who I am, and I'm good in my head and stuff like that. But I think people, just because of my energy, I walk in and they go, "No, she can't play the mum." I'm like, darling, I've got a 6-year-old and I'm knackered. I'm not doing. I can't do that, but they don't see it yet. So I feel like, in a good way, if I just wait my turn, I might have a little extra, because I'll be doing that maybe 10 years after I should be, or whatever, playing the mum.
You've really advocated this whole working mum thing as well, haven't you? Because we've seen it recently, most recently, with people talking about the discussion of like part-time and sharing a role. And it has been done with ensemble members, but it's not yet been done with a principal. But it could be done, and it should be done. I mean,
I think it could be done. I get that producers, especially now, people need to make money, and I understand. But I think that they are missing out on this huge wealth of talent and people who have been in this industry for a long time that just cannot make it work 8 shows a week for whatever reason, whether they're either a single parent or they have a husband who's, can't take half of the slack. Often if you have got an actor partner, you're in a better position because one's on, one's off, and you can do it like that. But there's a lot of people that just don't have the opportunity to stay in the industry that they absolutely love. So I'm a massive advocate for it, because it's not that you ask most mums, do they want to quit? No. Do they want to finish? No, but they can't make it work. But could they do 4 shows a week sharing with a like-minded individual? And yes, you're going to get half your money, but it's more money than doing not it at all. And you get to be you. And the thing is, with what I believe in this industry, is that, people say, oh, well, I've got work, and people misunderstood me before, because I'm like, my job and my friends are one, because it's everything. It's, they're like-minded people, and that's what you do. And it's all connected. If you suddenly stop doing the job you love, you stop seeing a whole load of people when you're not, because it's hard enough to keep up with people anyway, because they're all busy and doing whatnot. But if you're not in town and meeting people, it's a massive part of who I am as a person. So I lost my confidence and everything. And it wasn't necessarily, yes, it's hormones and things, and having a baby is completely different to anything I'd ever done before. But I think it is a massive part of it. In hindsight, is you lose a lot of you, because it is what you do, but it's also who you are.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of these shows, like even going back to Jersey Boys, they used to have alternates. Like John Lee used to go on 2 shows a week. So that was a job share. So it seems bizarre that they don't think it would work, especially with a lot of fans would go specifically to see both. You have people who like to go, and especially with 6, there's a whole team of people who go and tick off every alternate to see them in every queen. And they love
You're going to get people going again and again, maybe more than once, if you've got 2, and also, it's not even having an alternate or something. We're talking about a job share, a role share, like they do with Christine. There's no higher or lower person that you're getting. And also, I've always said this, because I do a lot of gigging and stuff like that, and I always look at the musicians and the band, and how they can have a chair. That's their chair. That's what they do. They play guitar on whatever show, and then they dep it out. And these deps need to be top of their game, because some people don't want a chair. They want to freelance and move around. You're getting people, incredible musicians, who have been ticked off and gone, yeah, he can do it. They've got 3 or 4 deps that they can get in at any point, and then they can go off and do it. And then they're more passionate about their job, because they're not bored. Sounds awful, but they're not. And I know that would be a logistical nightmare, because already, you've got swings of people. The dance captains were like, no! But think how fresh the show is, and think what you'd get.
Exactly.
You need to not, or you should think of it as adding something rather than taking away.
And ultimately, like you say, it's kind of it's enabling people like you, working moms, to continue working. Otherwise, an alternative is that we might lose you.
And that's the thing. You get to that point. A lot of people, get to a point and they go, okay, right, I'm going to duck out and have kids, and they don't. It's not as many people come back as probably. And if you ask them, do they want to? More people would say yes, they want to, but can they make it work? No.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. Right now is probably not the time to. Well, is it not the time? Let's start back as we mean to go on. Let's start. The chat should definitely be out there, and we should be talking about it. I mean, and I have to say, even if people say no, we're advocates for this, and we, you know, and if you speak to them about it, of course they're very understanding, and Pretty Woman were, but it needs more working mums and dads in the industry to be, because Pretty Woman, we had quite a few, so we had a voice, and our producers were brilliant, but unless we said it, they're not thinking like that unless they've got kids themselves, right? And then they'll go, oh God, right, do we need to discuss that? Or the company manager's got kids themselves, they're like, they're not. You can't make people wired to think a way that they don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't live in it every day. And I've been on contracts where they've been so understanding, but it's like that whole thing. I don't want to have to always be the one go, can we get the schedule? Because I need to. You feel like we feel like we're more of a pain. We're not more of a pain. We just have to organise ourselves beyond belief to be in this building. What happens for me to be here at 10? I've had a whole day before I get there, and that's not me going poor me, but it's a reality. And you feel you don't want to be the one that's always asking for. You don't want special, attention or things to happen. You just want to be able to do your job, and then X, Y, Z has to happen.
So do you think your daughter will be going into the industry? Because both you and George started as kids. He was in Oliver when he was 10.
Oh no, yeah, and but he's like one of 6. George is one of 6, and he's like, out of all that, so you've got, he's the only one. I think his sister went to dance, because he's got, so with there's 4 brothers and 1 sister and George. I think his sister went, I want to go to dancing, so he used to have to get taken along because they're, the youngest too, and he used to go along to dancing, and apparently he said to his mum, I'd quite like to do that. Like that, and he was then the one that went, Ross, we came out of nowhere, like same with my family. No one had actually really done it. My great granddad was like had a lovely singing voice, but in a male voice choir, like a top tenor, but no one had. We didn't know anything about that, so we came out of the blue and out of nowhere. But I'm on the fence with Amelia. If she wants, I'll let her do whatever she wants. But sometimes I go, is she kidding me that she can't hear that tune? Can she absolutely not hear that? And then suddenly she'll come out with something like, if it's higher, because obviously I'm down here, and she'll sing something. I was like, oh, no, she's perfectly, when she's up in a soprano, she can sing in key and stuff, but she loves music. She feels music. But she's not like, she's quite shy. But then I was shy at that age, don't laugh. So, I don't know.
Well, that's it, because she is a little mini you. Like I've seen
she is
your mum as well, so you can see the generation.
Oh my God, my mum is glam. Yeah, so you see us. Yeah, we are the. It's definitely in there. But I mean, if she wants to do it, great, go ahead. Yeah. Obviously, I know all the pitfalls, but I can't then go, oh, because I did that, don't do that. I just wanted to be happy, and I wanted to know. My main thing is with Emmy. I think like it's that awful feeling when a lot of people are like, I just don't know what I want to do, and because I've had other things that have been hard in my life, but that was the one thing I just knew what I wanted to do. And it was so much easier as a kid because you just, right, I'm going to do that. I know I have to do the maths. I have to do all these things, but that's what I want to do. And I think I just wanted to do something that makes her happy and she wants to do, not forcing herself to do it.
Because you started off at Bird College, didn't you? Back in Sidcup.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And the thing is, right, we didn't know enough about it. It was like everything happened, like it just sort of snowballed everything. I used to go to dancing when I was a kid. Somebody saw in a local newspaper they were auditioning for Sound of Music, Amdram, and someone rang my mum up and said, oh, they're auditioning. And I went, oh yeah, I'll go along. So I did that Amdram, and then all of a sudden, well, I'd done Sound of Music. Oh, it's in paper that they're auditioning for Sound of Music in Sheffield, the professional production. So I was like, oh, I'll go along to that. Got that. The writers, the kids director in that was working with 2 writers, Stephen Clark and Stephen Keeling, and writing a new musical about around Sheffield Steelworks. And they just I was still oblivious at that point. I was like, and they just said, oh, do you want to come to this audition? I was like, oh yeah, I'll come along. And then I ended up getting a really good part in that. And then it just sort of And all of a sudden I was like, oh, you need to go to college. I was like, and my audition, I didn't go the normal route to Birds. Oh, I was rang in the summer holidays before I was supposed to start. Can I audition? They were like, well, that we can for next year, but that's all closed. And I was like, no, I need to come this year because I need to do that. I don't want to do A-levels. They were like, who is this person? I was like, I just kept ringing up. Can I go? Can I come? And they were like, oh, who is she? And I don't know how it worked. Anyway, I had an actual audition with Dorian Bird and Miss Town, who was like my hero ballet teacher back then. And they did like a ballet and a bit of a jazz thing and whatever. Set it in a room with a pianist. And then they were like, have you got any music? I was like, yeah. And then there was no pianist then. I was like, I'll just sing a cappella. Sang him a bit of Miss Saigon, a bit of Jekyll and Hyde. They were like, yeah, you can come. This is a list of the things. And then I just went in. It's ridiculous.
I mean, what a story though.
I know. And then as soon as I got to college, I was like, oh, these are my people. I just felt, growing up, you would have thought that I was popular and I fit in with everything because I think I was a bit of a chameleon because I knew how to be. I wasn't fake. I just was good at adapting to situations, and I was like proper northern, brought up in a family, so I knew how to fit within like a community and stuff. And at school it was fine. I was fine, but nothing really got me excited apart from theatre. And I went to college and I was just like, this is where I belong. And genuinely, that's how it happened. It's not that bad, is it? Still get to do that bit, and I really like doing that bit. And I'm not saying we were going to win any awards, because I have never been a soprano, and I will never be a soprano. But the rest of it I was really good at. It is a TV show, but you can't slag it off. It's a TV show and a really good TV show. So I was fine. Went out to McDonald's afterwards and went on.
These interviews are completely free and I don't make any money from them. But if you would like to support me, I've set up That Fest to produce theatrical events to raise money for HIV charities. If you would like to make a donation, please check out our website or follow us at That Fest UK.
So you mentioned it before about, so you were in the original London cast of Hairspray,
Yes.
directed by Joey Mitchell, who's now bringing it back to the Coliseum. And you played Amber.
I was in Rock Q at the time when it, I think it was in Rock Q the first time it came about, and they did a little audition and then they came back a year later and I was like, I want to be in that show. And people were like, you're playing Meatloaf, you're singing this song and you're going to just go and play Amber. I was like, I don't care. That show is special. And I saw it on Broadway. I went on holiday and I was like, I want to be part of that because it's about the show. I was like, that show is genius and it's brilliant and it's so slick and it's perfect. And I was like, I want to be part of it. So yeah, I was over there and I absolutely loved it. That was a joyous cast. Everyone just was like, couldn't believe their luck.
Love her.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I can imagine you two together. Can't it?
I mean, literally, everyone was like, oh my God, this is a match made in heaven. Both mental, both loud, both normal, and just like full on stage. It was brilliant. And I just was in awe of her. And I am now every time. I went to see her in End of the Rainbow. I swear to you now, there's not many things that are ever, in my lifetime, are going to top that performance. She's amazing.
Yeah. Stunning actress. And then, so obviously after that, was it after that you did Evita?
Yes, I did. So that's another thing, innit? It's like...
Just ticking them off.
I know, babe. I mean, I was, like, I have to say, so lucky. I think I hit the industry just as the type of musicals that I suited were around. Right. So I was literally, it was back in the day. I mean, my Cats audition was the first thing I ever did. Was back when they give you 4 safety pins and 2 numbers. And you queued around the block at Pineapple, the other Pineapple Studios. And you know what I mean? That's like, so I did like, I feel like I was the tail end of that type of the industry, which teaches you resilience and just you know what I mean? You've got 8 counts of bait, whatever, and get on with it and you cleared or not. You know, it's like that old school, what we used to think auditions were like, which are not like, I mean, it's still as hard, but it's a different format. And so I went in that way. And then I was just right for a lot of things. And I think because I could dance the way I could, and I was a singer and I was an actress, it was the right time. So until I started to get like a bit older, and then you're less right for as many things.
Yeah.
But Evita was one of those things that's like, ta-da, you know, it's like on the list that you never dreamed that will. And also, it's like theatre's ever evolving and there's new stuff. And I'm a massive advocate for new theatre because I just think, you know, British musical theatre as well, we need it. We need it. There's so much stories and so many people to talk about and tell. I just think it's really important. But obviously the revivals we need as well because we need something for everybody. And the thing is, it's with something like Evita, it's like it will always come about, but will it come about when you're the right age, when you're available? It's so many things have to align to get, and so they did. And I remember, you know, having to sing. It was a Bill Kenwright production, but you still have to sing to play that role or one of his roles. You have to sing for Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I was just like, oh my god, what is my life? I'm in the greenhouse, I think they call it, at the back of Rug or wherever it was. And I was like, what is actually happening here? And it was, you know.
And what did you have to sing the songs from the show? Or?
Yes, we had to do several things, but obviously, Don't Cry for Me Argentina, Rainbow High, Buenos Aires, because they're all up there, aren't they? And I Think You Must Love Me. Yeah, you have to just do them, boom, 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 have a chat. And yeah, that's it.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, I loved it.
And like you say, all these shows that you've been in keep coming back. So they've got a new production of Jersey Boys coming back. So this was when I first encountered you. I grew up with Eugene McCoy. So we were kids from the same...
He's an angel on earth.
Isn't he?
Do you know how much I love him?
He feels the same. He adores you.
Oh, I just love him. I just think he's just the calmest, nicest, purest soul. All the fun as well, but just an incredible human being. It needs to be like the world needs to have a Eugene in their lives.
Yeah. So like we were like kids, and like I used to work for his uncle and knew all his cousins.
Oh my god.
And then he came to London, and then I came to London, and then it was while he was in Jersey Boys that he introduced me to Matt Wycliffe, and I ended up sharing a flat with Matt. So I used to come and watch Jersey Boys to see them. And I remember seeing you, and I kept going home. I was like, who is that Rachael Wooding? I am obsessed. Because there were moments in the show where you pulled focus. Like, I think there was a moment where you were like sat in the back of the car or something like that, and you could just see you having the time of your life. And I was like, I love
Who is that? Do you know what? Jersey Boys is another one though. Like I said about Hairspray, like, you know, people were like, oh, you know, because I'd done quite big parts, and they were like, oh, you're going to go into Jersey Boys? I was like, yes, I want to be part of that. Another time, I watched a show and I was like, I want to do that. I want to be part of that theatre moment when they're met, because I think that is an incredible way to tell a story, and that is proper musical theatre. And I loved what they did with it, and I was just like, that is slick. I want to be part of that. So, you know, that came about. I was like, yes, I'll go for that. And I loved it. I loved my time on Jersey Boys because, yes, it's not about a massive part, but it's not about the girls, but they support it. And then you have two corking scenes. And I was like, it's enough. I was, you know, strutting around. I couldn't wear them at costumes anymore.
Are you excited to see when shows like this, like obviously Hairspray and Jersey Boys, and even Rock Q's coming back? Are you excited to... Do you go and see them again, or do you know what? I genuinely love going to the theatre, but trying to like juggle a job in theatre and being a mum and family life and stuff like that, I find it really hard. But I want to, and I always look and I think I want to see that, and I try my hardest to see it. But genuinely, the times that I do, I genuinely see everything because it's so all my friends are in things. So I've got to see so and so. I've got to go see that production. She's on that day as that part. You know, when I took my mum to see Waitress, I was like, we have to go on this day because Charlotte's on for this part. And then, you know, so-and-so's in that and so-and-so's in that. And it's like, it's making time to see your friends and support your friends, but then you get to see theatre. So, I mean, it's win-win. Exactly. Well, I think it was around that time you were with Bloomfield Avenue.
Yes.
And you used to
I joined them because I was in Jersey Boys, and that band came out of Jersey Boys.
Is that how it formed? I loved it.
Because it was Ben and Joe were in the original cast, and and obviously Paul was in that cast as well. And I think they all just formed the band. And then I was doing loads of gigging anyway. Oh, Roadhouse. They used to have like a residency down there at Roadhouse. And I was like, I'll come down and sing, like as in guest sing. And then all of a sudden I was like, I was in the band, and I loved it. And I've sung with various bands since then.
Well, you know you make me wanna shout. Look my heels jumping, look my heart thumping, throw my hair back. Come on now, jump and get the
what I love about musical theatre is that I love like the precision, and it has to be like the XYZ. I do like a bit of play within it because, you know, I just feel like it's live. Come on, we don't need to do it exactly the same every night. But there is a real discipline in doing the same thing 8 shows a week, but making it seem fresh. Like it's an art form. It's really hard. And if you do it right, it's brilliant. But for me, to go alongside that, to gig in a band and just be me and just scream out and just do like what I want to do, like that works for me. So if I can do both, I like that.
And I think wasn't it like Thursday evenings you used to do karaoke at Freedom?
Rockaoke at Freedom, yes. So we started off at Roadhouse, and then we moved to Freedom, and then we did like Rockaoke, and then we did a couple of times. We did all rock stuff with a load of people from Jersey Boys we all loved that music. We did that as well. It was so good, that cast, because
really, like singing with a live band.
Oh my God, it's the best. It's absolutely the best. And that's where like my love of gigging started. And then I started doing a lot of work with the Queen shows, and because I've done We Will Rock You as well, that was my aim with that. And I still to this day work for Queen Symphonic, and they're all starting back up. And that's like literally like a massive orchestra, a 9-piece rock band, 4 singers. I mean, you're living your absolute dream. So to do a bit of all these things is the best, ideally.
And it's talking about Rock You. I mean, it's a bonkers show, let's be honest, but it's incredible. The voices and the music.
Do you know what? Once you've been in Rock You, like any show you ever go in after that, you're like, oh, let's say, can you turn it up, please? I can't hear it. She can't hear it. She's yawning. She's in the 3rd row. You know, because at Rock You, they had those stacks, and Dominion's massive, isn't it? That's those stacks of just, you know, just speakers all up the side of the thing, and it was like, bruh! And like one of my good mates who I met actually on is a sound guy, James Hassett, and then he ended up marrying Marianne Benedict, so she's Marianne, yeah, and they met on Rock You as well, and it's been so many people that obviously Ricardo and Alicia met on Rock You, loads of lovely couples that happened on Rock You. It's just a lovely place to work. Yeah. But yeah, Jim, I always think when Jim was on sound, I'd be like, turn it up. He'd be like, yes, 11. I'd be like, yes. So that's what I love about, you know, singing Queen. You could sing Queen every single night and never get bored of it, like, because it's Queen.
Exactly. Like, didn't you do a production of Fame?
I did. Fame was my first West End job.
No.
So I came back from Germany. I did Starlight in Germany. I came back, and we opened in the Old Witch. Yeah. I loved it. And that was like, you know, that's the dream, isn't it? To be in the West End. And so that will always be special to me, because I was, you know, and I played Serena. You've got 2 corking songs for, you know, playing Serena. Yeah, I loved it. And it was nice, that area. It's funny, isn't it? When you get a show, you're like, which theatre is it going to be in? That's a, you know, same with Jersey Boy. I loved being in Fame because I loved that whole like Covent Garden feel. And then I loved being in Jersey Boys because that was just banging Soho, you know. The Prince Edward is amazing, and then obviously down in Piccadilly, but it's different when I've come to Pretty Woman because we're only there a week, really open a week, and obviously I'm like, the minute I'm in, I'm thinking, well, I've got to get that train, otherwise I won't get home to pick her up, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to, like, I think this whole like lockdown has changed my mindset about like, you are allowed to go and do your job and enjoy your job and still be that, and up, as long as I get up in the morning and I take her to school and I'm there and I'm present, I'm going to allow myself, why do I need to rush that first? I could have half an hour with the cast and just and enjoy what it is to be part of that cast. I'm going to do a bit more of that.
Have you thought about what it's going to be like to be back with a company and back on a stage? I
think it's going to be very giddy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to absolutely love it. But in all honesty, I think I'm going to be like,
exhausted.
Can I do 4 shows a week? I don't want to do this every night, to be perfectly honest. I'll do it 4. Do that. Like, ease your way in.
I was saying this to Alice Fern. I was like, you'll be like a couple of months in. It's like, can we have that year off again, please?
Yeah, I'm like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was, actually. Let's just, yeah.
So you mentioned Germany there. What was it like to be out? So you went there twice. So you were there with Starlight?
Well, I did. So obviously I told you, I was at college. I was in my 3rd year and I auditioned for Cats. You just see audition for Cats. You don't know where it is or whatever. And it was actually the German production in Hamburg. Oh my God. Really amazing city. I was clueless. I'm not clueless anymore, but I was then. Hi, how can I play Cat? Well, it's the whole third year got cleared to go. So it's like, well, we're cleared to go. Well, I'm going to go. I never thought, because even though I trained really hard once I got to birth, because I was like, I'm going to make sure I can dance as well as I can sing and act, because my natural ability was like singing and acting. And I'd always danced as a kid and gone to different various schools, and I'd got better and better, but college like got me like able to go into a dance course sort of thing. So I didn't really think like some people's dreams were to be in Cats. Mine was to be in Miss Saigon. I don't know, you know, things like that. And so, and it's obviously changed like along my career what I've done. But yeah, so I think I just went to that Cats audition anyway. So I ended up in Germany, did a year there. And then whilst you're in Germany, because a lot of the shows are linked there, which I didn't know then, they came to Cats and said, does anybody want to audition for Starlight? I was like, yeah, I'll come in, I'll do Starlight. I don't have to go on skates, do I? No, it's just a routine. Sing, bosh, got the job. That's it. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm not coming back. I'm going. But do you know what? I'm really glad I did it that way, because I learned how to be a company member, you know, what the pitfalls are, how to work professionally, because you don't really get taught that. You learn on the job, don't you? So I knew all that. So when I came back, when I got, you know, the next job, which was at the West End, I was ready. I knew, you know, tipping your dresser, all of that, you know, stuff. I was ready for it then.
So that first audition for Starlight, did they put you straight on skates, or did you?
No, none of that. You literally do a routine, you sing, and then that's what they do. They have skate school. So people sometimes, most people do make it through, but people like fall out along the way, because it's like 3 months, like intensive, like they call it like skate school, and it's like, whoa, it's horrendous. I have. I've still got them. But the last time I ever had them, I need to put them on. The last time I ever had them on, I'll tell you this, I think I want to say, remember there's that club is it in Vauxhall, and it's like a roller disco?
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember that? I can't remember what it was. I mean, straight away, people here drunk, that drinking, whatever, and spilling. Everyone knows roller skating when you've been in the show. Roller skates and water don't mix, liquid don't mix. So people are skating around the club, drinking vodka. And we all went for one of our girls in the cast hen do. And I was like, oh yeah, still like could do it like that. Literally, Colin Charles had to hoist me onto that van in I Want It All, because I was like, babe, I can't, I'm not joking, I can't get up. He was like, he just literally went, and pulled me onto the thing. I was like, I was, in agony. Every now and again I think about it. I did Dinah, and then I stayed and I did Pearl, and then I came back, and then
because some of those fans, have you seen the documentary? There's a documentary called Repeat Attenders, and they go all around the world, and it's all about these fans and how obsessed they are with shows. And it features, I mean, it's quite heartwarming, really. This woman who was obsessed with Starlight, you probably met her, and she went to like every show, and she dressed up, because you do those meet and greets, didn't you?
Yeah.
And she'd go along to that, and then she told you her like life story about how I think her father was quite abusive, and she felt ugly, and the show like saved her, because it just kind of was escape. And it makes me think about like how these people are coping this past year without.
Do you know what though? I think it's something like Starlight. Literally, is in the middle of nowhere in a tiny little place called Bortham, and it's like it's purpose built, like the Starlight, you know, stage like theatre was built there.
Yeah,
I don't really know why it was built there, but obviously, you know, you've got people from all over the world, like, you know, from America, Australia, England, Germany, all come in. So you're all like a massive family anyway, because you've got nowhere else to go. West End's different. I mean, it is still a family, but, you know, people go to work, and it's more like you go home, and you go because you all live in that, you know, around that area. But there, you know, you're everything to each other. And so the fans were massively important, and they knew everything. They were there, but they were never intrusive, and they were very... they knew how much the company knew how much they needed the fans, so they really did involve them, and so they felt like they were getting enough from you, so you didn't feel like, you know, it was just it was harmonious environment. It was really good there. They were really brilliant.
And I got to ask about Wonderland.
Oh god. Do you know what? that score is absolutely.
It is actually.
It's incredible. It's so joyous to sing. I would still say, so I never go, oh my God, I can't believe. I'm still glad that I stood on that stage and sung like that, those songs, but it was a really awkward and hard time for a lot.
Well, I think it was Ben Yates who like tweeted something about this year's been so hard, I'd even go back to Wonderland.
I saw that. I was like, wow, this is hard times. Yeah, it was bad. And the thing is, for me, it was never as hard because, like we were talking earlier, that was actually me and Kerry shared the role.
Yeah.
So we were, we didn't do 4 shows on and 4 shows off. We just did like week blocks. We'd do sort of 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks maximum on, and then some time off, and then. So you weren't in it the whole time. So I feel like it was a lot harder on the rest of the cast than it was on me. But it was awful. The stuff that went down, it should never, ever have happened, and it should never happen again.
Yeah. But do you ever think that at the moment? Because I speak to some people and they're just oblivious at the time. They're just like, I think it was Viva Forever. We were talking about Viva Forever with Rebecca McGillis, and she was like, I thought it was quite good at the time. I was like,
yeah. I know. I think you get into a place, don't you, that you have to kind of, to survive and get on with it. You find like the good bits, and you go, well, I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed that, and people are nice, and and I feel, but I'm a bit like that anyway. I mean, I probably now more so. I look like this person that not moans, but I have to, because I have to be on it because of Emmy, and I'll ask the questions that need to be asked, and I'm older and whatever. But I think genuinely throughout my career, I've always been like, I'm just not that bad, is it? I'll get to do that bit, and I really like doing that bit, or this song, or whatever,
Okay, so what about Fat Friends, the musical?
Fat Friends, the musical, babe. I mean, that clues in the title. Let me tell you right now something about Fat Friends. I wouldn't be playing the thin sister this time, would I, if we did it again? Move over, Jodie. I'm having your part. Because me and Jodie played sisters, and I was like, woo. Do you know what? I had a lot of fun on it.
Mella adapted it herself, didn't she? She wrote the lyrics.
Yeah, because she wrote the TV program, and it did really well. And then I remember when it came back, because obviously Kay Mellor's done some, I'm Northern, so I was like, I watch all her stuff. I'm like, I want to be on a Kay Mellor drama, please. Can I do? I'm really good. So I think we all and I had this random call from agent saying, there's a workshop, but it's for Kay Mellor, and she wants to meet you tonight at the Palace at 7 p.m. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. Emmy, you're all right looking after yourself, aren't you, darling? I'm off. Like, that's it. I was off, because I was like, I want to meet Kay Mellor. I want to do that. So I think, most people's motivation to do the show was to work with Kay, because she's like a legend in TV and stuff like that. And I think, I met some lovely people there. Some of my really close friends now, who I've got friends from, all over the years of me working. But on that, I met some really close friends that I see now a lot, and I love. And we had a laugh. We were like a really fun cast. Everybody was like-minded on that cast, and we were all like, yeah, we were all on tour, and we loved it.
But it was a strong cast. It was Natasha Hamilton, Sam Bailey, Freddie Flintoff.
I mean, do you know what? I mean, Freddie, you've got to say to him, he's brilliant. He's never sung, never done any of those things in his life, and he was never, had no ego. He'd just come in and go, I'll have a go. Yeah, I'll have a go. And he was so good, and he really joined in. He was part of the company, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we were going to win any awards, but everybody was giving it stats, and we all wanted to be there, and it was a lovely place to work.
I mean, going back to winning awards, like Hairspray, 11 nominations, was it, back in the day?
Oh my God. And the thing is, when we started, we all knew, there was a buzz about it. Everybody was talking about it. And Michael has been in the industry for years and years and years, but I think something shifted when he played Edna Turnblad, because he was incredible, and that's why he's doing it again. And he's amazing in that role. He literally was Edna. It wasn't like Michael Ball does. He was Edna Turnblad, and he just, and everybody, Mel Smith, they were all everyone was in what we're doing. And we all recognised that, yes, there were stars within it and people were going to win Olivier's, but the show, everyone was full out all the time, and you had to be. I mean, you know, I'm working with Jerry now, but Jerry like 20 years ago was like, okay, pony, like there was no like, you know, it was. And what I loved about it, I've always been quite a big personality, and so in a room, that's the way I am. And that was kind of the first time that I'd worked with Americans, and you know, I'm not saying all Americans or all British, I'm generalizing, I know, but it was like that whole front foot thing. I was like, I get this world, yeah, let's do it straight away out of the box. And I really enjoyed that energy. I loved it.
And where were the Oliviers held back then? You remember?
You see, no, you're going to say this, right? And it's not sour grapes, because like I genuinely loved being at that show and I was there. I wasn't even there because the number that they did, my character wasn't in it. They were every single person. I think there was maybe 2 of us that didn't get to go to the Oliviers.
That's really.
I was Amber in it, and I was like, I'll just sit at home. Don't worry about it. Like I was really upset. I remember being really upset at the time, but obviously well happy that. I think I might have gone to Ibiza or something and gone, oh, forget it. I think I did. Me and Charlotte Riby, because she was the alternate. She's like one of my best friends now, and she lives up the road. We spend a lot of time. Our kids, you know, really good friends, and we adore each other. But like that's how I met her on that show. And I think one night we were in the finale, and obviously I'm sat grumping on the chair, and she comes over to me. And I'm sat there like that, and there's like something else happening. It's really unprofessional. It's not. And I just went to her, do you want to go Ibiza, like in character, in American? And she was like, yeah, when? I went Monday. She went, yeah. I went, all right, I'm booking it tonight. I'll ring you. She went, all right. And then she went, da-da-da-da. Went off like that. And then we literally went to Ibiza every year for 10 years after that together. Just the 2 of us.
Oh,
loved it. Yeah. But yes, so I've never been to the Oliviers. Obviously, George has. He's got one.
Well, I was going to say, like,
we've got an Oliviers there. It's there.
Oh,
just there in the fireplace.
When he got that?
No. That was, and you know what? I remember knowing about Sunday afternoon
because he dressed atrociously, and I was like, Rachel would not let you go to the awards like that.
And he had that bob haircut. Like he keeps saying that if it comes back again, he'd loved it so much he'd possibly do the show if it came back again, or if there was a time, because that cast all, you know, we're writing, you know, the music for Lonesome Frets, and Adam, who played the drummer, he produced the EP and he plays drums in the band, and you know, John and George are really close, and they do a lot of, like, they're thinking about gigging again together, and they're really great. But it was like, if he did it again, I was like, well, you know you're getting a wig, don't you? Because you're not having a bob haircut. Sorry, darling, but no. You've got the award. You've done the authentic. Now just, you know, calm down. Get a wig.
But I think I saw him in Thrill Me, but then it was Lift at the Soho Theatre, which I saw him in.
Yes.
Like Cynthia Erivo, Julie Atherton.
Incredible cast.
Luke Kempner, they were all in it.
I know. Amazing cast. Yeah. And I think I always say this to George, it's really hard because obviously he still loves theatre and he loves it, and I do as well and stuff like that. But we're doing like different things and trying the band and all these different things. But I always say to him, you're gonna go, are you kidding me? But I was like, you've had your moment. And he was like, yeah, but I want more. But, you know, we've had that point when the stars align, you played the character that is right for that moment, and everyone's looking at you at that specific moment. So, yes, I was in Hairspray, and I was in part of that cast, and everyone always says, oh, I remember you, you were Brit, you know, and it's always really positive. But I wasn't at the Oliviers when they won. I was not there. You know, I've not had my moment yet. So I'm going to keep going till I'm 94. You know, I'll do Blithe Spirit in 94.
You've talked about the national and obviously original new work, but are there any existing, I mean, you've ticked off quite a few of them already, but are there any parts there that you're still on your bucket list? Apart from Miss
Really, it's really difficult. I think like having Emmy and doing and like living life. It's not, doesn't stop me dreaming or stop me thinking, but I'm just happy to work. I genuinely am happy to work, and Sky's Edge is amazing. I can't wait for people to see it, like who haven't seen it yet, because it's and so I want to do that, and I want to do, you know, new musical theatre, and I'd love to do Calamity Jane, or, you know, I'd just love to do that. And there's shows that I genuinely love. Like, I cannot wait for Carousel at the Park. Like, I adore that musical. But some of the stuff that I love and I love watching and I grew up with, I'm not right for, and I'm all right with that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't dream about doing things that I don't feel like I do amazing because, you know, but I still love it and I still want to go and see it and I'll go and see that. But as far as like, yeah, I feel like I'm all right now where I am. And I feel like I've found my little place after having Emmy back in, you know, this world that I love. And I'm good. I'm good for now.
And have there been any shows that you were up for and possibly in the finals that might surprise people to know that you almost had?
Oh, well, the obvious one is bloody Wicked, isn't it? The first time I ever went for Wicked, I was in the final. You're going to absolutely laugh your head off because I have never been a soprano and I will never be a soprano. But the rest of it I was really good at. So it was again between me and Louise Seaman for Glinda. I was like, give it to her because she can actually sing that top note. And I can do it, but I'm going, doing like a cod version, not really living it, you know. And then years later, not that many years later, but when I was in Rock You, I was like in the final for Elphaba, and that was the year that I was closest. And you know, there was this whole thing with that show, wasn't there? And you think life changes when you're in that show, but you can't put it all on with that one role or that one show. And so, but I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I've done? Oh my God, there's that many things that I bet you think, oh, I've done really well, but I've been up for a billion things and not got them, like everybody else.
Yeah. And I've got to talk about Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah.
That little show that you did. What made you do it? Like, because that's to put yourself out there, because obviously you're hiding behind roles for your whole career, and then to actually just put yourself out on the stage and be like me, vote for me. How did it feel?
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing because, like I said, a lot of things with me is like, if I'd have stood and thought about it, would I have done it?
Right.
Probably not. But it was that day, and I feel like I did it at the weirdest time. I had no confidence. I just had Emmy. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I felt like, you know, hormone, all those things. It was not like the best. It was the best time because I'd got this little person who was just absolutely like amazing. But a lot of who I was not there. And I just was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just literally got a call to say, do you want to do it? Like, if it had been like months in advance, I would have not done it. The night before, come on. I'd been up for, I lie, I'd been through the rounds to do X Factor when I was in We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
And so that's prior to to having Emmy and everything. And so I'd gone through the rounds, the rounds that you do before it goes on the telly, all those, and been, and they liked me and I was doing really well. And then I got pregnant and they were like, oh, brilliant. Oh, we love that. That'll be really good. And I was like, I'm not going on X Factor as a big old moose. It's not happening, sweets. So I was like, no, take me out of this. So then I had Emmy and I was on their radar. They knew who I was then. So like, well, what about Britain's Got Talent? You don't have to go into the house. It's not as many weeks. You just literally come, get through or don't get through. And that's it, done. So they'd mentioned it to me and I was going, no, I'm not ready for it. I'm not going to do it. And then they chip away, don't they? And then they got me on a day and it was after Christmas. So I'd had all my family at my house and I love people and I like being around people and I wasn't around as many people at that particular time. I wasn't going to work. I was, just me and Emmy, which was great, but it was different. And I remember, and it was a day in January and it was like rainy outside. And I was like, yeah, it's coming out of my mouth. I'm thinking, no. I went, yeah. What time do I need to be there? 10. I was like, no, I'm not going to 10. When can you be there? 6. All right, come at 6. You can be in the second lot. We need you to sing this song. I was like, yeah, I know it. Thinking, do I? I probably know a verse and a chorus, but I can learn it tonight. Mentalness. Went in the next day, did it, got through. Weird.
I keep thinking that you'll be calling, but everyone said it's all in my head, and I can't accept it yet. I'm not ready to just give in, but I know that I can live in this pain, with this feeling of regret. All this wishful thinking gets me nowhere. I can't stay everywhere I wanna be. I wanna see you there.
didn't really have time to process it. You just kind of carried along with it.
So I just carried along with it. And the thing is with me, like, you know, like in this pandemic nightmare, block people away, can't speak to anybody. Somebody like me who absolutely loves being with people. I used to think if I heard someone, because there's like a road, because we're like a load of people go walking in our village, and it's like a throughway to like public bridle ways and loads of walkers. And so I'd literally hear like a rumble of somebody. I'd be like, that's someone going to be out. And I'd go to the bin. Hiya! George would be like, oh, she's off. Like forcing people to talk to me at the gate because I was so starved of talking to people. I used to stand outside there. So obviously on Britain's Got Talent, I'd been at home with Emmy a lot. So all the people, the other acts, oh, what, you're a ventriloquist? Oh my God, I'm like comedy gold because I'm just literally like obsessed with him. Can you do it for me now? No, do it. Go do it. I loved it.
So I guess you had no kind of ambitions with the show to kind of go all the way. So you weren't kind of disappointed? No,
I didn't have any. For me, and it sounds cheesy, but it's genuinely the truth that it got me singing again. It got that feeling of like, no, it's not over. You've got to like put your toe, and like you said, put it like dipping your toe back in the water in front of all those people and asking them to like you. Horrendous, but also that's me, all or nothing. I'm either in it or I'm not doing it at all. So that's me. I've gone in, I've done it that way, and it's made the decision in my mind. No, I do want to do it, and thank God I did. You know, I think I would always ended up here, but it might have took a bit longer.
Well, there was no danger that people wouldn't like you.
Well, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. And then so with the whole process of like the semi-finals and how it was, and it is a TV show, but you can't slag it off. It's a TV show and a really good TV show, and people watch it, and that's what it has to be. And that's what they're doing. They're making a show. So if I was always very aware of that, and I knew what it was. So I was like, well, I'm still getting to sing on a Saturday night on telly, which I've never done before, or not like that. So win-win, bosh. So I was fine. Went had a McDonald's afterwards and went on.
God damn, you're making me salivate. So I'm stuck here in Cumbria with my parents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. No, it's been fine. It's actually been nice. It's just nice to have a bit of a restock and just kind of have a bit of time out.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think the thing is, when everything's stopped like that, like, why struggle and be on your own? Because actually you think, you're doing my head in this day or whatever, but actually it's better to be around people, you know, not be like like you don't want to be in a worse position. You want to get back and just be there.
So when's your next trip to Ibiza? I want to come.
Oh God, don't even start me. Me and Spoon, call her Spoon, Charlotte, the whole story, which I'm not going to tell you about. But me and her, the last time we went was the year before, because we both got married and had kids the same year. So we went that year, that just prior to getting having kids, and that's the last time we went. And we dream about it all the time. We're like, should we just go back? Should we just go for a day?
Take a film.
We're going to go. We will go.
Brand new series.
You what?
Take a film crew. You'll make a series out of it for Netflix.
God, I don't want anybody seeing my antics now, because although I'd probably be like that. Should we have a cocktail? Should we go to bed? Should we just go to? Tell you what, we'll do daytime clubbing. Yeah, that's the new thing. We'll go to the beach, get wasted, and we'll just be in bed for 10, and then we can have a nice tan tomorrow. We would, but I'd still have the best time.
Amazing. Right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking about your entire life in 5 minutes.
My life in 5 minutes.
I think we covered it all, didn't we?
I think we've done. I think anything else needs to be left out anyway.
Where's George? I kept expecting him to like walk past in the background. Or
no, I'm not going to lie to you, because we'd done a workout and we're trying to be like really trying. We're on one, so he literally had like walked past in a towel, but behind you. It's like, all right, bye.
Oh, that would have done great for ratings. Get it back out.
Yeah. I think he's doing some marking because he's took on some acting teaching, and he's got to do some mark. So he's great at like the practical, and they're all like, oh my God, is there an actor who's working, and they love him and stuff like that. It's when he has to sit there and go, you need to improve in, or you're doing real. He was like, oh, I need an assistant to do that bit, but he's doing it now.
Oh, bless him. Right, well, take care of each other, and I will see you back on the stage.
I know.
Very soon. Can't wait.
I'm so excited. Right, thanks for having me.
Quite welcome.